Good morning, Tar Heel students. So this is a read aloud for a matter of life and death. I am a KO, a beer brewer from outside of the city of Thebes. I learned my craft as a young man, and while it has not made me rich, it served to put food on the table for my wife and 6 children. Now that I have lived through 30 circles of the seasons and my sons have made their way into this world, I feel an urgent need to prepare for the next. Though I am old, I can tell you that I do not fear death. Life has been hard, and I know that the next world will be far better. I have been saving for many years to buy a place for my burial. I will travel to my next life in a tomb made of mud bricks called a mastaba, which is all that most poor people can afford. Even though it is not grand, it will be placed on the west bank of the Nile, so that is very good for me. Since the sun rises or is born in the east and sets in the west, it is better to have a tomb on the side that brings us closer to the next world. My only concern about death is that all of the parts of my body should come back together. The ba, or soul, the ka, or spirit, the akai, or supernatural abilities, are torn apart by death and can only rejoice in the afterlife. The akai is, in fact, leaves the body together. It goes to the hall of the judgment, where the god Anubis measures its heart against the feather of Maat, goddess of goodness and order. If the heart weighs less than the feather, Anubis knows the person has lived a good and pure life, and they can live in the wonderful place we call the land of the 2 fields, with the god Osiris. If not, the Akai is eaten by the monster Amet, which is part crocodile, part lion, and part hippopotamus. I truly do not fear judgment, though. I know that I have lived a good life and worked hard to care for my family. My fear arises from the fact that the Ba and the Ka remain in the body while the Akai is judged. Therefore, it is important that the body be kept whole until the Akai can return. The problem is that if I were a rich man, I could afford to have my body preserved as a mummy, but the process is very costly, and only a few people can have this done. Since I cannot, I can only prepare my tomb in the best way possible and hope my body will last. My body will be placed in my tomb in a wooden casket. My wife, if she is still in this world, will prepare foods, and I have already made enough beer. We do not have much, but a few pieces of furniture, plates and cups, and other items will also be placed with my coffin in the tomb. I can only pray that we will all go well so that we can live a peaceful and happy afterlife. My name is Romeo, and as my name means, I am a rich man. Our family owns much farmland near Memphis. Of course, I have never tended the land myself. I have servants and field hands. My tasks are to oversee that the work was well done and carefully timed, and to pray and give offerings to Hapi. As the goddess of the Nile, she can bless the land and bring us rich harvests, which she has done. Now, though, I have seen the going up of the goddess Sothis for 40 years, so I am very old. My sons now care for our worldly treasure as I prepare for my next life. My life on earth has been very good. I know my next life will be better still. I have been a good provider for my family and have been fair in business. I pray Anubis will find my heart to be worthy of entry into the land of the 2 fields, to dwell with the god Osiris. The plans for my funeral and burial are well underway. Like many wealthy men in Kemet, I shall be buried in a rock tomb cut into the side of the hill on the west side of the Nile. Of course, my tomb will not be as grand as those in the Valley of the Kings, but my wealth does allow for quite a fine burial place for myself and my wife when she joins me. We have already begun to prepare the tomb with all we will need in the next life. We have beds and chairs, chests for storage of our clothing, makeup, oils, and other needs. We have games to play and much to read. The walls are inscribed with tales of the gods and events in my own life. We have even hired sculptors to carve models of the cart we drive so we can move easily from place to place in the next world. It is left without saying that the preparation of my body shall occur shortly after my death. After the women of my household show their grief to all, my body shall be taken to be prepared for burial. When my mummy is complete, it will be placed in the sarcophagus which has already been made, and it, along with other parts of my body, will be placed in the tomb to be preserved and wait for the Akka to return. Fresh food and drink will also be placed in the tomb at the time. Then, if all is as I pray, I shall begin my journey to the next life. While my life here on earth has been all I could have hoped for, I look forward to the day when I shall live with Osiris and meet the other gods and goddesses. Above all else, this is what everyone in Kemet wishes for. To live in the land of the two fields is truly the goal for all, rich or poor, servant or king.